So now it is a symptom of lack of our submission to the will of God. When we experience stress, pain, and problem, the best medicine to cure that stress, pain, and everything is to increase our level of surrender. Now, in physics and chemistry, we have the equations. So here, the grace of the Lord is directly proportional to the amount of surrender we have to the Lord. You know, the cows, as soon as they are born, they open their eyes immediately. Goats, the baby goats, they tell that they open their eyes after 2 days. What about cats? The cats open their eyes after 6 days. What about dogs? They open the baby dogs, they open their eyes after 10 days. What about human beings? We never open our eyes at all. Why? We have to be opening our eyes to the grace of God. We have to completely rely upon Him. The more we rely upon Him, the more is the benefit. You know, there are so many people who help you for investing your money. They try to help invest all your money and get more profit. Have you seen that chocolate is the best investment? You know why chocolate is the best investment? You buy 100 grams of chocolate, you gain 2 kgs of weight, you become obese. But on the contrary, if you invest your faith in God's grace, in the ability of God, then the gain will be not a negative one, but a positive one. Now, we have seen there were 2 old ladies who were conversing with each other. One of the ladies, she told, talking about her grandchildren, she was in the old age home. She told, each year I send each of my grandchildren a card with a generous check, money check inside that letter. But I never hear from them, never receive a thanks message from my children and grandchildren. Now, the other lady, old lady, was in the old age home. She told, oh, is it? I too send my grandchildren and children a very generous check, but I hear from them within a week after they receive my check or the letter. In fact, all of them, each one, pay me a personal visit. Now the other old lady told, wow, how come? Remarked another old lady, a very simple solution. I don't sign my check. So they all come running to me. But you can completely rely upon God. You know, Ramakrishna tells how to depend upon God. He gives the beautiful example of the cat and the monkey. In Sanskrit, it's called as Markata Marjala Nyaya. What is this maxim? Markata means monkey. Marjala means cat. Ramakrishna gives this example of cat and the monkey. You might have seen the monkey, the baby monkeys, holding on to the abdomen or the stomach of the mother. and the monkey will be jumping from tree to tree, running from roofs to roof. By chance, the baby monkey lets go the hold, it will fall, it may die, it may break its head. On the contrary, Ramakrishna compares that with the cat. How does the baby cat do? It only calls meow, 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 mother, mother, mother. Wherever might be the mother, she comes running, she catches the baby with her mouth carefully by the neck and the skin of the neck, takes that kitten to the safe place. So you can see, giving this example, Ramakrishna tells we should be depending upon God like that cat. If you do like the monkey, half on your, or 75% on your self-effort and 15% or 10% on God, then God will also protect you. But he's helpless, he's always wanting to protect you, always wanting to put grace on you, but your ego is obstructing that. So what is the way to come out of that? Surrender. Now, we heard that wonderful example of Sri Ramakrishna. I will tell you one story. There was one great devotee who had surrendered himself to God fully. He was walking in the desert. You know, the desert, even in Durban, though it is not a desert, it is on the ocean and very fertile. In the summer, you feel so much of heat, humidity. Then imagine what would be the temperature and the heat in desert. So he was walking in the desert early in the morning. Sun was a little gracious, though a lot of heat and humidity. He was sweating and walking and walking. He saw that, you know, the sand dunes in the desert, if you keep your steps, your foot leaves a mark on the sand. He saw, together visits 2 steps, another 2 steps going with him. He was seeing the footprints of another pair coming with him by his side. He was very happy. Oh, my Lord, my Ishta Devata is with me, is protecting me. He was very happy. Then, as he moved forward, sun is rising up and it is becoming more hotter and hotter. He became very tired. He felt that he cannot move any forward. There is no water. He was struggling hard. Now he watched, is my Lord with me now? He sees there is only 1 pair of steps. He felt very upset. When the condition was stable and somewhat comfortable, the Lord was with me. Now that I am in trouble and the heat is too much and I am finding it difficult to walk, the Lord has forsaken me. What is this? Then immediately he heard a voice without form. My dear child, those are not your footsteps which you see on the sand. It is my footsteps. I am carrying you. So if you surrender to God, the Lord will always be carrying you in your times of difficulties. Is there any proof? Yes, the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita has given us a promise. And what is that promise he has given us? He is telling, Ananyaha chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. It is in the 9th chapter, the 22nd verse. And what is the Lord telling here? Lord Krishna, what is he promising? There are so many promises, wonderful promises given by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. And this is one of them, the best you can tell. Ananyaha chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham Nitya abhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. There are those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me. To them, whose minds are always absorbed in me, Lord Krishna promises, I provide them what they lack and preserve what they already possess. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Not only your spiritual requirements, even I will take care of your worldly requirements too. This is the promise of Lord Krishna. Those who always think of me, meditate on me, those who have surrendered to me, those who engage in exclusive devotion to me, to them whose minds are always absorbed in me, they cannot take care of themselves. So, Lord Krishna tells, I provide them what they lack and preserve what they already possess. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. We have seen our mothers, they never think of deserting their newborn, helpless child who is entirely dependent upon the mother. The Supreme Lord is our eternal mother, the mother of all the souls. That is God. In this verse, Lord Krishna offers motherly assurance to all of us, to all the souls who surrender exclusively to Him. The words used here are Vahami Aham, meaning I personally carry the burden of maintaining my devotees. Can you understand? I personally carry the burden of maintaining my devotees. Just in olden days, this I'm telling about the olden days, not the present day, just as a married man carries the burden of maintaining his wife and children. Nowadays, it is reverse, obverse of it. The wives also work, the women also work. This I'm talking about the olden days. So just like the husband, newly married husband carries burden of maintaining his wife and children, God here promises two things. First is yoga. What is yoga? He bestows his devotees the spiritual assets they do not possess. Second is kshema. He protects the spiritual assets that his devotees already possess. So that is the Lord promising us. He protects everything. He carries our personal burden. However, there is one condition. What is that? He has placed for this is exclusive surrender. This can again be understood through the same analogy of the mother and the child. Haven't you seen a newborn baby is fully dependent upon its mother, who takes care of baby's welfare entirely? The baby simply cries whenever it needs anything. The mother cleans it, feeds it, bathes it, etc. But when the baby becomes a 5-year-old child, it begins doing some actions for itself. Why? Because gradually the ego is developing. When you become youth, your ego has matured. To that extent, the mother reduces her responsibilities as the child develops its ego. And when the same child becomes a youth and assumes all responsibilities, the mother relinquishes her responsibilities further. In this way, as the children keeps assuming more responsibilities, their parents keep relinquishing their responsibilities. God's law is exactly the same. When we act from our own independent will, thinking that we are the doers, without us, this family cannot run, the world doesn't run without me. So we are the doers of action and depend upon our own prowess and abilities. God does not bestow His grace. Have you heard the story of the gospel where Ramakrishna tells, once in Vaikunta, Narayana and Lakshmi were talking. Suddenly, Narayana stood up, Vishnu, and started running. Mother Lakshmi was surprised. Why is Narayana running? After some time, Narayana came back. Oh Lord, you ran so quickly and suddenly came back. What is the matter? I saw some of my devotees were walking on the bank of Ganga, singing bhajans, and by chance, while they were unaware, singing the bhajans, they walked on the cloths which were washed by the washerman and dried there, so it became dirty. The washerman came with a stick to beat them. So I ran to protect them. Then why did you come back so quickly without protecting them? Then I saw the devotees, they stopped the bhajans, they took their tambura, tala and harmonium and the sticks and stone, they went to hit that washerman. So I thought, oh, they can protect themselves. Let me go back, and I came back. You can see the stories there in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So if we start depending upon our own abilities, then he merely notes our karmas and gives the result. When we surrender partially to him, so now it is just like we depend upon the material crutches, God also partially bestows his grace upon us. When we offer ourselves exclusively to him, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Aham Tvam Sarvapapebhyo Mokshayishyami. Mamekam, to me, Sharanam Vraja, completely surrender. Again in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells, then I will not only remove all the sins you have committed, Mokshayishyami, I will also give you liberation. God bestows his complete grace and takes full responsibility by preserving what we have and providing what we lack. Have you seen in the life of Girish Chandra Ghosh? Ramakrishna told him, give me your full responsibility, Vakalat. I will take care of your spiritual life to everything. You know, if you read the life of Girish Chandra Ghosh, you can see that Janaha, those people, Ananyaha. Here, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. What is Ananya? In Sanskrit, Ananya means those who see me as non-different from them. Ananya means, Anya means separate. Ananya means I'm one with God. I'm not separate from God. Ananyaha. See the words used by Krishna, who see me as non-different from them. Paryupasate, offer worship. Chintayantaha mam, dwelling on me. Aham vahami, I take care of. Yoga kshema, the yoga and kshema. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam, of those ever steadfast one. People who see me as not different from them, offer worship, dwelling on me. I take care of the yoga and kshema of those ever steadfast ones, for whom God is only the means. For us at present, what is God? Is only means to some ends. We want something, so we pray to God. That's all. Now God is only a means. Ends are different. But what is that self-surrender? God should be the means and God should be the end. That is complete surrender. So now God is only a means to the end. If when God becomes the end and the means, that is the highlight. Then what about worrying regarding worldly things? What you call duties and other things, because we have to earn, we have to take care of the family, children, grandchildren, because this person is absorbed. What will he do for yoga and kshema? Yoga means acquiring whatever is required. That is yoga. Yoga means apraptasya praptihi, the basic needs of life, food, clothing, shelter. And the second thing is kshema. Kshema means whatever, praptasya rakshanam, protecting whatever I have acquired. Acquisition and preservation. These are the two basic pursuits in human life. If you look backwards, what you have been doing, it is either acquiring or preserving. The whole of your life is only acquiring and preserving. These two only we have been doing all our life. What has happened is, Lord Krishna's worry is we spend the whole life for this, that we have no time to think of anything higher. So all the 5 days or 6 days, we are busy. Especially if we are working people, we are busy. And there are only 2 days. What is that? Weekdays, weekends. So how can you make a pun of this word weekend? Now, this two, because they're working the whole week, the weekend, they are weakened. W-E-A-K, W-E-E-K. The weekend, they are weakened, rightly named. So they are weakened. Therefore, you only want entertainment. You don't want God. You don't want to study. You don't want satsang. You don't want Upanishad. Now, I shall give you a wonderful example. Have you heard the song? Vaishnava Janato Tene Kahiyeje Pid Parayi, the Gujarati song. Who has written that? Gandhiji liked that song. Anybody knowing that saint, name of the saint? Narsi Mehta. So when here in his life, in this life of this great saint Narsi Mehta, when Sri Krishna himself bought ghee, clarified butter, assuming the form of Narsi Mehta, to his home. What happened? Once Narsi Mehta had to perform his father's Shraddha. What is Shraddha? Last rites. But there was no ghee, clarified butter in the house. Because for the Havan and the Puja, they need the ghee, and also for the cooking. Now his wife sent him to bring it. Narasi went to the market to bring the ghee. But on the way, he met a Sankirtan party. They were singing bhajans of the Lord Krishna. He forgot about ghee and other things. He joined the party and started singing in ecstasy. Krishna bhajans. He was immersed in Sankirtan party, singing and dancing with them in ecstasy, made him totally forget about ghee and that ceremony. The priests are waiting, the wife is waiting, children are waiting. His wife wanted for him despondently as the hour of that auspicious time, Shraddha, is slipping. Now after that, it will be waste. What to do? The wife is very restless now. What happened? Because he's singing the bhajans. What did the great Lord, whose devotee is singing there, do? However, Bhagavan Krishna saves the situation. What has he promised? Yogakshemam vahamyaham. I'll be taking up total responsibility of the devotee. Even worldly things I will do. So first, what did Krishna do? He stopped the sun movement. Why? The auspicious moment is going away. The Lord stopped the movement of the sun. Why? The auspicious moment should not slip. Can you imagine? For a while, and then assuming himself the form of Narsi Mehta, he bought ghee and gave it to his wife. What happened then? The wife started scolding him. Krishna got scolding also for the sake of his devotee from that wife. So the Lord is ready to take up anything for the sake of devotee if you surrender to him. So he got nice scolding from the wife. The function got over. The priest, the brahmanas, having left happily, being well fed, the havan, the puja, all the rites were over. Now, after the bhajan Sankirtan, now Narsi remembered, my God, the auspicious time is over. He purchased the ghee and came running to the house. Narsi, now in ghee in hand, returns home with apologies, only to discover the truth. The Lord has already bought the ghee and saved him from that difficulty. So have faith, total trust in God. He will never give you up. Your children, your husbands, your wife, your friends may give up, but the Lord will never ditch you. Have faith in him. That's what and Krishna has promised you. Ramakrishna has told that n number of times, surrender, sharanagati, sharanagati. And we sing Ramakrishna Sharanam, Sharanagatoham, Sharanagatoham. I surrender, O Lord, at your feet, and he will get everything from him. There was another great saint called Ghora Kumbara. He was a very great devotee of Lord Vithala, another aspect of Krishna in Maharashtra. because he had to keep up some promise, the word he had given. For the sake of Lord Krishna, his hands were chopped off. He didn't have both the hands. His hands were chopped off because he had to keep up the truth which he had given, the promise for the sake of Lord Krishna. So his hands are gone. Now he was a potter. He used to make pots and earn the living and look after the family. Now he cannot make pots. He cannot look after himself. No, both the hands are gone. Cut. What will he do? Now Lord Krishna, Vitthala, assumed the form of a servant and came to his house and sought work as a servant in his house. He started feeding him, nursing his wounds, started cooking for him. He started making pots and selling that. And for nearly years, so many years, he looked after that great devotee Krishna staying in his house. Another great saint, Gnanadeva, where goes to Pandharpur in the temple, and he was offering to the Lord. Lord is not eating. He pleaded, why are you not taking, Lord? Then Rukmini Devi told, Krishna has gone to a great devotee's house to serve him. Who is that great devotee? Ghora Kumbhara. In that place, he ran, come running. By that time, the Lord had gone. So, if you surrender to God, God will come as your servant. Ramakrishna has told that song in gospel, I will give mukti. The Lord is telling, there is a song which Ramakrishna used to sing in gospel. The Lord will give you mukti easily, liberation, but he will not give you shuddha bhakti. Why? If he gives you that surrender and devotion, then he has to become your slave. So surrender at the feet of the Lord, and the Lord will take all your burdens. So that is the wonderful message for the new year. All through your life, surrender at the feet of the Lord, and you will get whatever you want. And the Lord has promised, Krishna, Ananya Chintayanto Mam Yejanaha Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. If you want to confirm, go to the 9th chapter, 22nd verse, and confirm it. Have faith in the Lord. Make your life divine. This is a special message and request for the new year. Let your life after this, starting with this new year and after this, the whole of your life will be a life of surrender. That is my prayer. And get the benefit of the protection of the Lord. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.